Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good day. So now we are going to learn about file system and files in Linux operating system. So the first thing that you need to know is about the topic learning outcome, because by the end of this practical session you should able to measure yourself that you are able to understand the directory structure in Linux, and then to understand what are the file types and also permissions that exist in Linux. And also the last one is to differentiate the absolute and relative path and able to apply later while you are using the command in Linux. So let's see the first slide. It's about the directory structure. So Linux file system is based on a tree hierarchy, similar like we have in Windows OS. Okay, so there is a top level which other sub-levels branching beneath it. So meaning we have the top directory and then follows by the other directories and files. But unlike the Windows file system, where Windows starts from drive letters, example like we have C, we have D. If you insert your pen drive, it would recognize as F or H. So that will be the top level of directory structure. But in Linux, everything starts with a single directory structure that is known as /, which also called as root, R-O-O-T. In the figure given shows the Linux and Windows directory structure. So we can see on the left hand side, it shows the Linux where we have only one top directory. Okay, where every single subdirectory is located beneath it. So we also can see that the user, for example, in this case, I'm using student 1 as the user that exists in the Linux system, where it's located under home directory. Okay, so when the student 1 login, it will get its own workspace, okay, where all these files belong to him. On the right hand side, it shows the example of Windows directory structure, where we could have more than one top directory. As in the example, I'm giving you the C drive and also D drive. Okay, so the user details of whenever the student, in an example, the same username, which is student 1, when it's login, it will has its own workspace. All the users exist in the Windows structure. It will, in the Windows system, it will store under users folder. Okay, while in D, the user can store all the files, data that he wants to store. Let's look at this comparison side to side for Windows and also Linux. We are comparing the test.doc in two different systems. Okay, let's look at the Windows first. So in Windows, this file test.doc located in C drive, okay, in users, where the user is student 1, in documents folders, and it's the test.doc. And for Windows, we are using / for the file path. Okay, and you can see that the top directory is the drive letter of the computer. So in this example, we are using C. Right. We look at the Linux path. If you can see, this file test.doc located in root, which is / home, student 1, documents, and test.doc. So it does not provide any physical disk like what we have in Windows. So the top directory is the root, the / at the beginning of the path. Here we are showing you the example of file type of extension file format that we have in Linux. Okay, so for file, the open document files, like what we have in Word is .doc, right? Or .xls. So in Linux, we are using the default one is the ODF text, okay, which is in for the compatible with Word is .odt. For Excel, it's compatible for .ods and so on. Okay, and then tarball. This is not the one that we can compare with Linux. With Windows. In .tar is something like utility that given in Linux. We will see this further in the next lab session. Okay, compressed file. Example that we have in Windows, normally we have the .zip, okay, .raw, and we also have the open source apps where we use .7zip. Okay, so in Linux we have the one designed for Linux system, which is bzec2 and also gzec. We have several more, but this is something that normally used. Okay, and the next one is compressed tar file. This is combining the tarball utility and also the compress, or you can see that it's a zip file. Okay, so this we're gonna see further in the next lab session. Alright, let's move to the right hand side, showing you the source code file. So this is similar cross platform because we are using based on the language. So if you .c++, okay, we have the .java, .sh, .py. So it's depending on the language. Okay, for the plain ASCII text file, it's normally is .txt, similar what we have in Windows. For configuration file, we are using .conf. So if you find any file that has .conf, so meaning it's a configuration file. Okay, and software package for Debian, if you find any .deb or .udeb, it's which is can be used in Debian system. Okay, so for the software package, we will learn more in the software package management topic.